Baby girl, you're on TV. You are the famous kitty. Yes, yes, everybody love the kitty. Meow, 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 meow. Hey, look, look, you're famous. You're on the television. You're on the computer. No, you don't care. Okay. How's everybody doing? My little child just jumped up on here in my face, right in the middle of me trying to figure out what was going on. So I tried to make a stream for y'all where the orientation was land or profile, portrait, whatever you want to call it. And it just won't let me. It's driving me nuts. It won't let me. And I was hoping that I could do that so that it would show people scrolling through live streams and shorts and stuff. But alas, I don't know how to change that setting through StreamYard. Baby girl, you just whined and whined and whined at my feet. And now you're saying I don't want to be here. Okay. So how are we doing, everybody? Are we doing good? I'm feeling I'm feeling. How are we feeling? I was a little torn because I was thinking tonight I could tell you guys some updates. Let me grab something. I'll show you some updates here. I'm not in my wheelchair tonight. I got myself my scooter, and you can see my scooter is actually quite the contraption. I have Vanna White here. I have a little bag in the front where I can carry, I don't know, groceries or, a record player or an aquarium, a nano tank, a Wabikuza, Yakuza. I could have a small Yakuza member sitting on the front of my scooter and in the little pouch. That would be adorable. But yeah, so I've got that going on tonight. In the house, I think I've given up on the wheelchair. It's so hard to freaking deal with that. But I was kind of wanting to give you guys an update on how all the fish were doing and show you guys the baby elastomas, which are no longer on the counter. They're no longer right here in the kitchen. They're now in the fish room. But I can show you here, this is Daphnia from out in my ponds that I just collected. But it has been a lot harder, obviously, to do everything when you're trying to stay off one leg and also move around the fish room and things. So I've gotten pretty good at standing on one foot and then pivoting around the fish room. But if you didn't hear, because this is fish adjacent, and I wanted to, I've had requests from folks to highlight what it's like being disabled in fish keeping. And I said I didn't think it would be disingenuous for me to say I know, because right now I can get up and I can stand on my feet if I want to. It hurts. I'm not supposed to do it for very long, more than a few steps at a time, so on and so forth. But I can do it, and I haven't been disabled and stuck in a wheelchair, my legs don't move at all kind of thing. And so it feels like that would be, I don't know, improper to even claim that oh, here's 5 tips for people who are limited by their mobility and keeping aquariums. One, I don't think that video would do that great. Not that I care about that piece of it, but I just don't think it would even be searchable. I don't think it would hit even enough of the bullet points essentially to even get 500 views, and that would be then basically it would just make the video after that it would drag it down. It would drag the amount of viewers down. So I don't want to say that hey, I'm going to tell you guys what it's like to be in a wheelchair keeping aquariums or anything like that. Really what it comes down to is I have years and years of experience of these aquariums where I have mostly kept hybrid style tanks, if you want to call them that, where only 2 of my tanks have ever, really had the CO2 running in them, or are the kind of rimless, like high light, aqua soil, fertilizer. Even though I've backed off, I've done no dosing of ferts for, I don't know, 6 months now at least. And CO2 I've had on in one tank, but it's very low dosing also. So this is kind of just basically my part of the reason why the channel doesn't have as much content right now also, and I'm about to be changing that at least, so that's good, I suppose, right? But part of the reason, other than me being sick and not well a lot, and like just literally not feeling up to it, or not being able to get around and do things, and so forth, it's been that I don't have that many fish that I'm breeding right now. Like, I used to have 32 tanks running, and now I think I'm at around 14 or so. Maybe not even that many. I've really kind of like taken things, and if it can colony breed, if it can live in a tank with a little bit of frozen food, a little bit of live food, a little bit of dry food, and kind of if those fish are hanging out and doing okay on their own, then I've kept them, obviously. Then there's a few bettas and elosoma sunfish that I'm still keeping, and I will feed them live food. They need it. They can't live without it. But there's those fish. There's the goodeids. There's a number of like checkerboard cichlids, and the black bar cichlids, stuff like that, where I'm keeping them, but I'm not actively breeding them. And that's really what brought about this whole like forktail loach video that I did last week, that was on the notion of keeping endangered or threatened species. I was kind of thinking like, okay, I don't have, like, one, money's been tight, but also two, just without the ability to be super active doing water changes like every single week. I right now I'm doing enough water changes to keep up with evaporation top off, and then a little bit, and then some. There's a couple tanks that I have where I do more than that. I do a 30% water change a week, because those fish are, for instance, like my rainbow fish. Those ones, they appreciate it, for instance. So I keep up with what the fish require, but also I haven't had time to like de-algae everything and stuff like that. And so I want to be transparent to you guys and show you, like, hey, this is the state of my fish room. This is where Fishtory, the channel, is really at. But I do know that I get some criticism, and also it's not that I'm trying to say, oh, I'm setting a good example right now. I'm trying to show you I'm holding on right now, and I'm holding, we've battened down for the storm of life and health and all these other issues. And if we can get through it without losing any oddly large amount of fish, or, having any die-offs and things like that, and being able to maintain the species that I have, that I didn't give away, or that, are haven't aged out. I love keeping nanofish, and a lot of the nanofish only live 2 or 3 years. So quite frankly, it's been 1 year now since I was in the hospital, and that time passing has now essentially, it's aged out maybe a third of my nanofish, something like that, a quarter of my nanofish, just naturally. Because I've had people say like, oh, your fish, you had a bunch of CPDs in that tank, and there used to be 40 in there, and now only a year later there's only 30 in there. Like, you mentioned that, you said you counted them, and I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you keep little fish. They don't live as long. Or you have kind of a turnover when you have, like I said, 32 tanks. You have fish, especially with the nanofish, when you're breeding them and you're switching them around and moving them. You have fish that, they're your breeders, then they stop breeding, and then you kind of hang on to them for a little while, or you offer them to someone else who may just want them as community fish. And, you know, that's kind of that. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate the gifted membership. For anybody thinking about becoming a member, you can dab your toe in the water. Appreciate it. Hello. And also, what's going on, Cat B08? Life happens. Just had my third baby, and things are just hanging on in the tanks right now. Yeah, so you know that's kind of the message, is that, you know, I don't want anybody to feel shame for just hanging on with their tanks. Now, I do think it's kind of irresponsible. Obviously, people come first. Your lives, you know, life can throw a lot at you, and all of a sudden you're not equipped to take care of a tank. The point is, if that becomes the case, stop buying more fish and just deal with what you have. You know, that's the most I could hope to try to I don't know, impress upon most people, and myself included, I would hope. But it's interesting. I don't know how much faith or stock to put in these things, but you know, I try to be aware of, okay, what has I've used Chat GPT and other resources where I've said, what are the complaints about Fishtory channel, and or like what are some controversies or criticisms. And it's crazy, it'll actually like go through the entire internet looking for whatever. I guess it's scrubbing comments or something. Mark E. McFly, what's up? And Radino, what's up? Sunny G, what's up? Good to see y'all. Come on in. The water is lukewarm, and it's not uric acid or ammonia based. Beto Great Lakes, Gnarly, Philo, what's up? Phoenix Star, Claire H, Ashley Johnson, Robbie, and it's done. Darb Wire, Carson Muffin, Cassandra, and Bomadaka. I like that name. And Wicked Freaking Aquatics. Good to see everybody. I just looking who has popped in, and you know, saying hi, doing the but anyways, I don't know. What do you guys want to do? What do you want to do? CJ, what's going on? I know also it's Stephen P is probably still streaming his what's it called? Streamy McDreamy or Dreamy McStreamy. That Stephen P 2003 always, you know, he does his thing, and usually I go earlier in the night. Well, I had to be a bit later because of I'll show you guys why. It's mildly entertaining. I have a group on Facebook called Mildly Interesting Men, and it's like it's just stuff that's like everyday kind of stuff, but you're like, huh, that's kind of cool. Like an egg with two yolks. It's like, oh, that's not mind blowing by any means, but it's like, yeah, that's mildly interesting. So the whole goal is to like not be too entertaining or too amazing or unbelievable or anything, but just be like, yeah, that is kind of odd. That's within the course of a day, but that's odd. I don't know. For some reason, that tickles my fancy. So I feel like right now today we're getting like not a lot. I don't know if maybe my chat is going on, but like if my chat is not in real time right now with you guys, it says it's live and everything, but through StreamYard, I'm wondering. I'm not seeing many comments. I'm seeing and Andreas Semch, what's going on? Good to see you. It is good to see you, man. Dude, you're live. Good to see you. Yeah, that's what I was saying about you. Laura, hello. Where is Sumi? She was actually just here. Yeah, and that's how you spell her name. It's just like the kitty, just like, hey, Asya, so good to see you. Good, where everybody knows your name, with a notification that made you came. Doom, doom, doom. What's up? 186 Element. Adam World. Okay, now I see that we got a couple folks popping up. I see some comments. It's nice. All right, I see things going on. Comments for the algorithm, Philo says. Is it Philo or Philo? Anyways, If y'all have questions, go ahead and ask me. This is an open chat. This is an open forum. But it's also, like I said, if nobody's got nothing to say, I was gonna say, well, do you guys want to see the state of the fish room, which is not super amazing. I mean, I can show you. We can go over and look at a couple of the fish tanks and stuff, and see what 6 months of like running on skeleton crew and starvation rations is like. You know, and it's just because I don't want to ever hide anything from you guys, the viewers. Like, a lot of channels are all about, oh, I'm going to make this thing and I'm going to buy all these new things and my sponsors are going to send me the fish and the products and these chemicals and this brand of this or that or food, and this is the only way to build this or do this. And, you know, I just want to make it so clear that with you guys, what you see is what you get. Like, I'm on a journey, and in this journey of fish keeping, I've kept fish for over 25 years now consistently. And yet I never faced the time when I couldn't walk or was in a scooter or a wheelchair or could only take a few steps. And it's really, I see how challenging it could be, and why, if I were permanently confined to a wheelchair, I would perhaps not have a fish room. It may be too much for me. I could see having a shrimp room. I could see having nano tanks on a rack system that's very organized and low. But I definitely understand, you know, how this world, this hobby is not inherently set up, nor are the designs you see out there set up for disabled, physically or mobility disabled folks. But, you know, we're going to hold on. Like I said, we're going to weather the storm. So I have a little something to show you. Also, we'll go look at the pygmy sunfish babies. Have you considered moving to shrimp just to make things easier? Cosmin, that's an interesting idea. You know, I have now. The other thing that's exciting, incredible news, and I want to seriously thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Those of you who are members of the channel, whether that's the $1.99 or whether that's just liking, subscribing, sharing the content, being here on a live stream, super chats, whatever it is, however you are helping out. If you're a part of this thing, you are helping. You really are, and it makes a big difference. Right now, the channel has stalled for like growth and for views and everything. It's way down. I mean, down past when I was at even 5,000 subscribers, and we're at 85,000 subscribers. So I don't know if that's quote unquote a shadow ban, or if it's just because I've only been uploading one standalone video a week and 1 or 2 live streams. Literally, I have not missed a week for live streams. Like, I've always had a live stream, and I've always had the video, other than 2 weeks, 9 years on YouTube. And yet it appears that the algorithm is taking that to mean like that, you know, it's not going to alert very many people. Out of the last video, I think 3,000 people have viewed it, and I think only 6,000 were shown it. So I have a rate of 50% of you incredible people clicking on the thumbnail when you saw it, which is mind-blowing. I've never had a rate that high. Yet YouTube found that not good enough stats to pass it on. They literally only showed 6,000 of my subscribers, of which 69% have their notifications on. So they should have been notified. Yet right there next to it, it says how many people clicked on the link or were had exposure to the link, basically. And that means they saw the thumbnail. It says that only 6,000 people were even shown. So I don't know what to do about that, other than just kind of hang on and just keep making stuff for you guys. But it's not so much even that, oh, the views are down, that means money's down, blah, blah, blah. No, it's that I feel like when I'm proud of a video or I work hard on one, I really worked on the last one, I feel like it's a bummer because it doesn't even alert the people subscribed. It doesn't even alert the people who are paying to be here sometimes. And that is a bummer, because then I'll get comments and I'll get messages like on Facebook that are like, dude, you haven't posted anything in a month and a half. What's going on? Are you okay? I saw that your your health has not been the best. And I'm like, literally like, well, you could go to the channel and just look at what I posted. I've been posting. So I hope you guys remember that. I have to tell myself to remember that. That's the thing. It's not like I'm blaming anybody. I'm not frustrated with any viewers or anything. It's just the fact that, like, when I click subscribe to a channel, I would hope YouTube is going to tell me all their stuff, even if I clicked it 7 years ago. Listen, YouTube, I'll get rid of it off my feed when I don't want to know about it. But if I said tell me everything, then tell me everything. So how are we doing as new folks are coming in? Alex, YouTube not doing their job. Yeah, I know, right? Giddy. Oh, Andrea or Andreas is giddy, huh? Mr. Alex, oh, I missed this one. Is it normal for parrot feather to close up at night? Yes, isn't that cool? Kabamba, parrot's feather, mayaca, all those little plants that have, like a bunch of little needles on them. Almost all of them, even hornwort, close up like this towards the stem at night. And it is a process that we don't understand. Flowers do it too, and we really don't know why they're doing it. We assume it's something like maybe it saves the plant from exposure to cold temperatures, or maybe it's something to do with at night. There's not as much need to have the leaves and things off gassing the same way, or evaporation and the way nutrient transportation works. There's been some theories about that, but at the end of the day, nobody's proposed something that covers like why so many plants do it, that really explains it for every plant, as far as that I know. And that was something I researched, and I was like, oh, I'll do a video on this. And the answer was like, well, I could do a video where I just say like, hey, guess what? We don't know. But that's kind of a lame thesis for a video. Guess what? We don't know. Yeah. But, that's totally cool that you noticed that. And yes, that's totally normal. It's really fun to watch your plants go to sleep at night. I have a video of what your aquarium does at night. Like, oh, these things should be happening. And it's one that I've thought about remaking. Because I feel like I could get better B-roll now. Like maybe I could get like a FLIR, like an imaging camera, like heat imaging camera at night. And it'd be really interesting to look at the aquarium and do like a time lapse, like every 10 minutes, take a picture and see what the heat signatures of the aquarium are, even like just the currents and the bottom of the tank is 2 degrees cooler than I don't know if you'd be able to even like image that in a way that would be like interesting, but I think it could be. Gnarly, all aquatic plants close up at night. It's very interesting. Trying to tank around midnight, you see all the plants closed up. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Andres, no problem. I appreciate the one who. Hello, and also I just looked for the red dot by your icon. There you go. That means I'm live. Always interesting to hear how YouTube works. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm sorry. I know it bores some people, but yeah. Also, Mark E. McFly, tired of just lurking, happy to help support. Thank you so much for becoming a member. You know what? You can now go to the playlist that says audio-based podcast. And yes, there's a free, open to people variety of episodes of that. But now you will have access to another, there's a total, I think, 240 now episodes that are extra for people who are members that they can listen to as audio. A lot of them still have video or have me talking and showing an image or two or showing some fish or whatever, but they're not, you don't need to look at them. That's kind of the common thread with the audio friendly. If I put that on a video or a tag, that's kind of like what that really means. Oh, mosaic plant. That's a beautiful plant for sure. Ossia, that's really cool. Also, Anubias look like a hurricane hit them after trying planting. And Oscars, yeah, they'll rip apart any plants. That's a rough one. Let's see here. Yes. So, can creators pay to boost their channel? Yes. There's one person I'm subscribed to, and it's all over my feed, and it automatically plays their videos, like ones I've already watched. I hate it. Yes. And honestly, if I don't pay, I haven't paid now for over a year. But for a little while, I tried paying $200 on new videos. Like like on 200 on one new video. I paid the next month like $50 on 4 different videos, like one popular video, one that I wanted more traction on, one that was coming out like in the coming days, and so I plan to have that one. So whenever you buy access like that, they promise you X amount of, oh, this will probably be 1,000 subscribers for $40 or whatever it may be. But they will show that over everything else, and they will have animations that say like, subscribe, join, whereas they'll literally hide those buttons for the channels that are not paying up. So yes, you get a totally different curated and I guess like organized differently experience on YouTube when you decide that you're gonna pay the money to Google. So basically, if you pay say a third to a quarter of your earnings that you make through YouTube back into advertising, that's a very common thing that a lot of channels are doing now, and it's becoming so common now that if you don't do that, you do not rise above. And I just don't want to encourage that. I'm one of the people that's like, no, I will not pay that. But yes, it does definitely help. It does make you more money in the end. It will make you that 200 you spent and an extra $10. Like, it's very like, is it even worth it? It's like very on the edge. But every once in a while, it will go very viral. But nowadays, you'll notice when a new channel kicks up and stuff, people will throw $500 on their new channel on advertising through Google to get that snowball rolling. Because if you can get that snowball rolling, I'll be honest, if you get it rolling and you have good content, if you only have 10 videos, but they're all, bangers, they're all solid, it is worth paying a bunch of money, having people see your channel and liking, subscribing, and getting involved. And then, the engagement later is worth it. If you can't sustain the next week having a banger of a video, like people do this now. Well, they'll plan months out before they launch their channel. There's people also like Tanks for Nothing. Really good quality content, but he's been editing for like a year in some cases, projects and things. And he knows, like, I'm going to put this video out, and then a month later, I'm going to put this video out, and I'm going to pay this much on this, or whatever his strategy rollout is. But it's very smart. That is the way to quote unquote play the game. Now, I have been doing this for 9 years, and I've been doing YouTube for a living for at least 5 now, to some capacity, where that's me breeding fish, raising plants, doing graphic design, and YouTube, right? But it is it's very frustrating sometimes to see that you got to pay to play in this system, kind of. Hey, dude, ordered a black-bellied Lamia, right on, from Dan's, as well as a pair of Liberty Mollies. Any good advice for the care of these fish? Liberty Mollies, give them harder water. They love plants like Val Scenaria. They love plants that are thick that they can swim through. They actually really like also a place to hide. The Liberty Mollies love like a slate piece of stone. Like if you can wedge that at an angle like this so they can swim under it kind of and sit under that cave or eave. They like that. They like to tread water there. They like to know, since they're from waters in Central America and Costa Rica, and Panama and Colombia area, like they're from regions where the fish hunt them. Green terrors, red terrors, red devils. I mean, all sorts of big and convict cichlids and Dalmatians and 5-star or 4-star generals and all these crazy fish that are really mean and like a foot long a lot of times. Central American cichlids. So they are a bit flighty sometimes. The mollies are the true wild caught like Liberty Postiliata. Was it Salvatoria or Sylvester? I forget what it is off the top of my head, but yeah, the Liberty molly. But they are really pretty, and when you have one female that's kind of she'll be the main healthy one that is having the most babies. She may have like 40 or 50 babies in theory at a time, but they will eat their babies. Especially the males will eat the females' babies, and the babies are born relatively small for a molly. Like they're not like the pet mollies with the big fins and big tail kind of thing. We can go look at them in my fish room in a moment, actually. But anyways, yeah, they're a great one. But they're a bit flighty, and also they love algae. So algae is part of their diet. When they're scientifically studied and they cut open their bellies, they found that algae was, I think it's like 40 or 50% of the biomass in their belly was algae and diatoms and just different like bacteria, fungi, and biofilm. So they actually, you can keep them in a very like hard or mineral rich water tank, slightly alkaline with a lot of algae. Now the Lamias, they're great neutral water to slightly hard water for most of the species. I don't know the black-bellied one for sure. Most of them are Cuban based. 7 of the species are from Cuba, and they're all kind of similar in their care, and they're very similar to like a guppy or something. And I love them. They're fun. They're just basically a little live bear, and I think you'll have fun with those as well. I mean, I just think they're great, and I think they're easy to spawn if you give the fry a lot of cover. That's true with most live bearers, that you can colony breed them, you can get their babies to grow out a lot better if you provide some piles of rocks or those little domes that are clay, that are like kind of like a jungle gym looking thing. Those actually do save a lot of fry, and same with shrimp. But those fish definitely will go through your shrimp for that matter. Okay. Let's see here. Man, your content speaks for itself. Love your approach. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I am sincerely flattered. Also, yes, Ants Canada, that is a great, I like his production style and his storytelling and all that. It's great. Pepper, thank you so very much, Pepper. You got 5 gifted memberships. So 5 of y'all lucked out. Y'all lurking around, hanging out. You F around and find out. You fish around and find out. You're going to become a member. You're going to go to the tab that says playlists. You're going to go listen to the audio podcast tab when you're driving, when you're working out, when you're doing water changes, and you're going to have a good time. It's going to have news from the fish world over the last few years and updates and trivia and stuff like that. So enjoy the extra episodes. Also, sometimes we'll do an extra live stream here or there, or I'll do an announcement in the community tab. So definitely, if you're a member, even if it's just a guest member, check there because I put stuff there. And also the Discord tab. On Discord, I kind of treat, I'm going to give away the goose here. I do have a urgency that I try to answer and give like immediate one-on-one feedback to the people on Discord first that have supported me at a level above the $1.99 or $2.99, I guess it has to be. That's the lowest I could set it. On YouTube, I can set it to $1.99. If you are on the Apple Store, don't be. It is $2 or $3.99 for the $1.99 membership, and Apple pockets it. I don't get that extra buck. They just require it to be more money so they can make more money. It's really messed up. The politics, there's lots of good videos where creators have talked about that, but you actually pay more, get nothing more. You just pay Apple more. That's it. And if you go directly to the source, like if you go to the Google store, the Play Store, or if you go to sometimes the website that the app is downloadable from, or Discord itself, you then don't have to pay that if you're on like a computer versus if you're on a Mac signed in or Apple signed in device. Have you heard snail safe fish? Wait. Have you heard of snail safe? Fish orange, wide eyes. I ran across it on Flips. Have I heard of snail safe? Are you thinking of no planaria? Or I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'm sorry. I don't know, but I usually know, whatever Robert's up to. I know him well. He was at my house not too long ago and we were talking about products. I use like Shrimp Envy, so does he, so does Aquatic Arts, so does Dan. I think Dan's been using them, and I use them obviously. So there's commonalities. I know Garden of Eater, he uses them as one of the various food types he feeds. Hello, baby girl. My kitty's right here, and she's saying hello, and then she ran away. She just was like, I need attention. She put her claws in me, and as soon as I look down, she just starts walking away like a little jerk she is. Okay. Asha, Chuck, Jose, Steve, and Spitz are welcome as new members. Thank you for letting me know, because it doesn't tell me that on the gifted memberships, but I appreciate knowing, and thank you. That's very generous. Also, Fidencio, Cyprian, what's going on? I want to get into RODI water, but the low KH to keep Caridina and the sensitivity plants kind of scares me, and all the wastewater from RODI. So you can get the wastewater down to 50-50, basically. I wouldn't sweat it too much. If you have a garden or something, you can definitely use it. I think you can use it and still be pretty productive, generally speaking. But I do understand that it is a commitment that you're going to remineralize the water, or you're going to have a substrate like in your aquarium. So say you have a 10-gallon shrimp aquarium. You don't need to remineralize that water every time. You can have crushed coral in a Tupperware container, or just scattered along the top of your sand substrate or aqua soil. And say you're using Brightwell. I use Brightwell and a bit of crushed coral. The Brightwell will buffer the tannins and the carbonic stuff, the organic compounds, whereas the crushed coral then releases the carbonates and the calcium carbonate and potassium and things like that. It will help the electrolytes and salts and the conductivity in the water and all that minerality for the shrimp, so they have the nutrients they need to build their exoskeletons as such. But you can just keep adding distilled water or RO water or rainwater. If that water is, say, in the tank with the shrimp is already at 400 TDS, or maybe that's for neocaradinas, or maybe for bee shrimp, let's say it's 100 TDS. Okay, let's say the KH is 5 and the 5 or 6, and the GH is 9 or 8, right? Something like crystal shrimp or tangerine tigers. Well, you can then, instead of remineralizing every batch and matching the water parameters exactly, because some people do that, and if it's off, it can shock the shrimp, right? And that's always been annoying. Well, what you can do is you can just let it evaporate off in the room, and that will not bring hardly any minerality or any of the TDS with it. So if you're doing that, and every so often, maybe a 10 or 20% water change, you can pretty much just keep that TDS, that KH, that GH hovering right there as long as there is a stone like limestone or crushed coral or cuttlebone or something like that that is there to dissolve and absorb into the water. Craig's Catfish Cave, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Will KH below 3 encourage pH swings? That's a good question. Yes. I seem to feel that 2 or 3 is kind of the cutoff. Any less than that, you're in real soft water territory. And, there are ions and different things that like ammonia turning into ammonium because of the pH, things like that. There's things that go on chemically that start getting a bit unpredictable when you don't have any buffer like that. Just keep your fish in water, never chase pH. Yeah, exactly. I mean, try to set it once, set it and forget it. You know what I mean? I think it's better to not try to match the water every batch. It's just a recipe for falling short of that. And rather just try to come to a place if you are using the RODI water, come to a place where you learn if I add the RODI water, I need to add if I add 2 gallons of it to this tank, the TDS only goes up 5 parts per million every 2 weeks. And that's something that's very manageable. You can just do a bigger water change with that RO water eventually, if that's the case. But as long as you always have a little surplus of that stuff dissolving into the water, then you don't have to chase the pH. It's just basically like a reservoir or a bank of carbonates, KH and GH, in your aquarium in the form of crushed coral or cuttlebone or whatever. Andreas, what's up? What's a happening? Paulo, cool videos from a cool guy. First time trying dance fish. Wishing for good luck from him. Oh, right on. Let us know how it goes. Usually it's pretty amazing. Other than it's a little, it's pricey. But good quality stuff. Very good quality stuff every time I've ever bought it. And if there was ever an issue, like just it died in the mail or, the abominable snowman ate it on the way to my house or something, they've always bent over backwards to be an incredible customer service front. Let's see here. Craig says it's probably the only channel I sit down to. Well, thank you. I am honored, and I appreciate that, my dear friend. I know you've been around a long while, and it doesn't get past me. I do really honestly appreciate it and feel honored that we got such cool community members that have hung around for like years. Some of y'all, I'm talking about you. You've been around for like 5, 6, 7 years. That's wild. Before Schmovid, Fishtory, when are you going to show your Liberty Mollies? Oh, let's go do that. Avoid Apple like the plague. Yeah, okay. I can say that I would agree with that. Just given a 4x2x2 and a heap of fish. Oh, that's awesome. If I were like healthy right now, I would be like, hey, I want in on that. How do I get in on that? I just could not handle all that right now, so it's a good thing that I don't have it. Hey, Denise, thank you so much for the super sticker. That is incredibly kind of you, incredibly generous. I really do appreciate that. That $20 super sticker from Denise Sanders. Or is it Denise or Yes, it's not Dennis. Okay. Also, Aquatic Moose. Aw, thanks. I appreciate it. I love moose, and I don't care who know. I have watched you for years and have learned so much. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much. That makes me really happy. I'm glad we can accommodate you. Let me know if I can help in any other way. Ever. I'll do what I can, when I can, how I can. And sometimes that's a can. Let's see here. Fishtory, do you think mollies could breed fast enough to be a food source for Central American cichlids in a large tank? Maybe if I, yeah. Yeah, they could if you had enough of them. Like Aquarium Co-op has a big tank with them, and like Murphy was in there for a while, you know. There was a point where there were a bunch of mollies and flagfish, and they were breeding in there. Even their like hill stream loaches are breeding in there. Now they have like whatever 1,200-gallon tank in the store. It's like obscene, and it's a crazy big tank, but it's so big that like the eggs just can't get picked over. It's like nature. But yeah, if you have a big enough tank, Boots and Cats, what's up? Good to see you. But yeah, if you have a big enough tank, you can make it happen for sure. I think in a 500-gallon, definitely you could feed some cichlids off of a live bear. You know, I might pick like Gambusia or, you know, some sort of Postiliata, perhaps. Maybe a Gambusia or a Postiliata genus, one or the other. That could be Gambusia holbrooki or Gambusia affinis or whatever. But they're a quick breeder for sure. They multiply like wabbits. Anna Banana, what's going on? Good to see you. What's going on? What's going on? Sleeper Barbecue Grills to Gills. That's Thrills, that name. Thank you. Was the electric scooter, was that an electric scooter? No, it's not an electric scooter. It's a lame scooter. It's a scooter for like mobility. It's for like my leg. It's like, it's lame. Trust me. You're so lucky that Aquatic Arts is right down the road for me. Oh, right on. Marty McFly, or Mark E. McFly. That's cool. I heard they're having a swap. Is that this weekend or next weekend? Anyways, I think they're having a swap, which is pretty awesome. Also, it says snail safe keeps snails from climbing out. I've never seen it. It must be new. Huh. I'll have to look that up. That's interesting. Also, Fishcapades and Boots hitting it off like a long-time love affair. Love to see that when y'all talk amongst yourselves as friends. So cute, so cute. Let's see here. Jose Davila, yeah, gifted memberships again. Who did that? Who did it? Who did it? Who did that? Paulo Machado. 5. Number 5. Number 5. Number 5. Thank you so very kindly. Allowing more people. Hear the word. Hear the good word. Have you heard the good word today? What's the word? Bird. Well, everybody's heard about the bird. Oh, the bird is the word. No, I appreciate that so much. And also Johnny Best coming in again. Coming in with the home run, with the triple header. He's always doing this. Supporting the channel. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. I'm learning to just take the money. Just like the GoFundMe, you guys, I need to say again. I said I wasn't gonna mention it, but I need to thank you. I'm not gonna like post it, I'm not gonna link it, I'm not gonna do any of that. But those of you who have contributed, I really do appreciate it. I have not had a lot of breathing room lately with bills and life and everything going on as far as like focusing on the channel and being able to like put my head down, put my nose to the grindstone kind of thing. Grindstone's actually taken off a good amount of my nose. I think you can see right here. It took off part of my nose. Hey, cat, what are you doing? Cat is biting me again. But working on it. Yeah. Working on it all. And I do have like stuff in the works. If there's ever a video topic you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments. For the first time in years, there were a few days where I didn't even look at comments. Like I went 2 or 3 days last week where I didn't look at comments. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but there was some real chicanery going on in the hospital where I've been getting care, billing and all that. Basically, they botched. So if you guys have been following, I will tell you guys this much. I had my legs put into into a soft cast and a hard cast. One was the whole leg, and the other is just the ankle and orthotics. And I had 2 broken ankles. I have an ulcerated foot from last year in July when the gravel was in me and they did surgery and they left the gravel in me from the injury. And then 4 months later it came out, but it got infected as it did so. Well, I have pictures and I can tell that there hasn't been progress. Like literally since December when I finally got in, the only progress was that they stopped the infection, which that is huge progress. But the wound is on the edge of the back heel. So now I need to get all the pressure off of it. So they told me, stay off of it, stay off of it, stay off of it, stay off of it. Here, do this, have this, and I've been doing that. I've been trying to keep my feet up. I've been trying to do all these things on top of my autoimmune disorder, on top of the tumor on my kidney that they're having to deal with, and keep certain things down and so forth, and keep monitoring things and CT scan, yada, yada, yada. There's a bunch of stuff going on. But they made the injury worse, and I had to cut the cast off myself. And I thought, Alex, what are you doing? Go into the ER and have them cut it off. They're doctors. They know what they're doing. But I just freaked out. I just had this feeling of, no, I can feel my heart beating in my toes every time it's beating. And I just feel trapped. And I feel like, oh my God, I got to get out of this cast. It's killing me. Every time I took a step, it hurt. And by morning, I was taking a step over to my neighbor's house next door, which is like not even 40 feet away. And I was going to pet his dog. And it's a cast that I was supposed to be able to walk on. Well, unfortunately, as I walked, I hear sounds like I'm stepping in mud. And it turns out I freak out at that point. I was already anxious. Well, now I freak out. And I cut it off with a Dremel, with a diamond tungsten bit. Cut off the leg cast that was hard. And as we tilt the leg cast as it's coming off, blood pours out of it. It had ripped open the wound in my heel because they didn't put any padding in the ankle of the cast. They literally forgot it. So this whole thing, such a fiasco. And that is, I don't know what to do at this point. Like I've talked to a lawyer who's a friend of mine, and he's like, that is easily malpractice. They gave you the wrong antibiotic. You even have the emails saying, hey, from keeping fish, I know that those bacteria do better with gram-negative. Could we try a gram-negative? And they said, why don't you stick to your fish and I'll stick to being a doctor? We can each stick to what we know and you can leave me alone. That was their response. Then I get to the specialty clinic 2.5 months later, and they're like, I can't believe you've been on gram-positive this whole time. Your infection's been getting worse. It's in the bone. And I almost lost my foot back in December. So it's crazy incompetence, but it's also the best hospital in the country. Well, not in the country. Sorry, not in the country. It's one of the best in the country. It's rated like 8 out of the top 100. University of Washington Medical Center. And this is the wound care specialist, of which they used to have 4. Now they have 1 doctor managing the same amount of patients. And he just doesn't care. He's just burned out. Every time he sees me, he's like, get your diabetes under control so this wound will heal. And then he looks down at the chart. And I'm like, dude, I have seen you twice a week since December. I do not have diabetes. My A1C is perfect. My heart rate is 40 to 50 when I'm sitting and doing nothing. It's like a marathon runner. They don't even know, they don't know why my heart rate's so low. But whatever, it's good. And blood pressure is good, all that stuff. All the really important organ systems are actually doing really good, which thank you, baby Jesus, seriously. But all this stuff has been literally from stepping on a piece of glass, the fact that I do have a compromised immune system, but then that I got infected, and then I got poor care, poor advice. They told me to use this one thing. It didn't work. They tried to fit a boot on me that was too small by 2 sizes. Not by 2 shoe sizes, by there is a extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, extra, extra large. I'm the extra, extra large when my leg swells, and I, I'm like 6 foot. And they tried to put the medium one on me, which like warped my foot, twisted it. That may have been what broke the bone, they said. Anyways, I'm going to stop with whining about that, but I'm going to have to take on all of this. And right now, to be really honest with you guys, I just don't have the energy. I want to cry. I just want to scream or hit something, or just yell and fall to my knees in a dramatic moment. And I am an FBI agent. No, I don't know what to do. I really don't. I really felt so lost this week. My wife was out of town too. And so I cut off the cast and stuff. And anyways, I'll stop blabbering about this. We'll go look at stuff. But I just wanted to tell you, and also, Jan, I think you're watching. But thank you for the GoFundMe. I didn't know how much I appreciated it until literally the other day too. I was like, what am I going to do? They just sent another $400 bill that they're about to send to collections. They wouldn't add it to my tally. I'm sorry. This isn't fish related. I shouldn't be unloading on you guys. But anyways, I'm going to stop in a minute about all this crap. But long story short, thank you guys. It's more than you know. It has like alleviated some of this just insanity that's gone on in my life. And the fish have too. You guys have too. Asking me questions and telling me what you guys are up to, what your tanks have going on, what fish you guys got, what you're breeding. Like all of that is like medicine to me, and I appreciate it so much. You guys don't need to it's not just people helping by giving money and stuff. You guys help by being you, by loving the same things we all love, right? So hold on one sec. I do need to get a sip of water. My throat's getting sore. I'm going to grab a sip of water real quick, and I will be right back. And then we will go look at the tanks, because that's what I said we was going to do. So we's going to do it, as Jar Jar Binks would say. Hold on. Not the sound that I don't know what sound that is. This is the sound the doggy makes. Okay, let's see here. Does anybody out there? You know what song I was thinking you could turn into a lounge song? Pink Floyd. That song, is anybody out there? What's that? The Void? I'm trying to think of the name of that song, that Pink Floyd song. Anybody here remember me? How I used to walk some sunny day. That one. Vera, what has become of you? Anyways, I was like, thinking that could be a lounge act song. Does anybody here remember me, Revere? How we used to walk on some sunny day. Anyways, just a thought. Maybe a terrible thought. Probably a terrible thought. These are the damaging voices in my head. Hey Alex, have you ever had Hoplosoma habrosium? Of course I have. I love them. Have you have them bred for you? Never seen you mention them except in the CPO video, and they're my favorite fish. Yeah, I love them. They are a little hard to get to breed for some reason. What do you need, girl? But yeah, they're a little tricky to get to breed, but they like to breed vertical. I've gotten them to breed on slate, And I've done it during a rainstorm in the summer. Like when we got a real nice, like it was like 80 degrees that day and it rained in the evening, which is rare for Washington. But that really helped them spawn. The other thing that has made them spawn in the past, I've never gotten like 100 of them or, 50 of them even. It's always been like 20 or like 15 babies. But the Hoplosoma, the other thing I've gotten from them was when the angelfish I had were spawning. I used the water from that angelfish tank, and yeah, I'm trying to remember if they were in the tank or if I just stole water from the tank. But yeah, that was one of the fish that pairs very well with water from other breeding species. The hormones in the water trigger it. It's like a symbiotic relationship, or not really. I don't know. Not symbiotic. I don't know. Psychotropic, that's probably more like it. Not fish related, but have you heard Jesse Wells? Yes, I love Jesse Wells, A Pepper. You must not be friends with me on Facebook, but I literally 2 weeks ago, I posted his new album, Pilgrim, and I was like, yo, you gotta check this out. And like Rachel O'Leary and I were just talking about how he's like really good for our time music wise, like folk. If you like folk rock, if you don't mind the kind of guitar traveling musician playing harmonica, thumping on their guitar, kind of Bob Dylan, Pete Seeger, Woody Guthrie kind of vibe, mixed with a little bit of more like Bob Dylan, a little bit of more rock and roll, a little bit more bluegrass. Yeah, he is awesome. Yeah, Jesse Wells is great. And not to get into politics, but he is to the left, but he actually has politics that I think are very universal in some ways. Like there's stuff that people on both sides of the aisle are frustrated by, oftentimes. So I do appreciate that as well. I know. I'm so glad Rachel O'Leary is back as well. I'll have to have her on again. We had her on like 3 years ago right before, actually it was kind of after she had quit YouTube. But I know she's trying to make that work again. She's trying to kind of tie that in with her life now. And I just think, I think we should have her on. I think it'd be great. Anyways, so just want to show this real quick. So this was the boot I had. And I still have orthotic shoes on. So we're going to walk around in a moment. But I don't want anybody being like, don't walk on your foot. Don't do that. Well, I've got this scooter right here. And yeah, this was the cast that was made with no padding. If you can see back, there was padding up here. This is like fiberglass. This stuff. It's a chemical reaction that makes it rock hard. There's an epoxy of some sort in here, and then there's fiber. That's like it's very cool technology. And apparently, if you ever need to get out of one of these, a diamond tungsten bit cuts through it like butter, even better than the saw they have at the clinic. I cut through that in like, I don't know, 8 seconds or something. I was a little bit scared I was going to just like cut my hand off or something, cut my leg off. Anyways, all right, let's get this fired up. We'll get the on the go cam fired up, and we will go traveling. Rambling man. Rambling man. Whoa! My wife already landed. She just left. I don't know if you guys can hear the cat going nuts, but my wife just landed at 8:38, and her flight was supposed to come in at 9:30. It was a flight from LA, so she literally came in. I don't know what, over 40 minutes early or something. She just told me 50 minutes early on a 2.5 hour flight. That's wild. What'd they do? Like, does a plane usually go 300 and they decided to go like 580. Weird. But I'm happy. That makes me happy. So sorry, just had to say that. Hey Dagmar, what's up? All right, let's turn this around. Let me get this. I'll have to mute you guys for a sec. Otherwise, we'll get terrible feedback. So yeah, I must have had good tailwinds for sure. And I know the planes do go. Some of them fly lower for certain routes. And that LA to Seattle route, super, super busy. Lots of cities along the West Coast that just follow that route. And so a lot of times they have to go out and around or over and around or up, higher or whatever. So they might have been able to also just get in a high and fast, straight to the point kind of thing. Let's see here. Yeah, because when I go to Florida, it can take me 5 hours and 20 minutes to get home, or it can take me 6 hours and 45 minutes to get home. I've had anywhere between the two. Oh, I'm getting itchy. Sorry, guys. I got an allergy. Got a cat hair in my nose. All right. Let's see. I got to mute one of these. Hello. Ooh. I might have gotten it right the first time. Let's see here. Oh. Can I turn it the other way? We got an echo. Okay, let's try this. Sarcodon audax. Okay. All right. Can I turn this around? Turn around even now. Why doesn't this let me? Oh, here we go. It's all different now. Sorry, guys. StreamYard has changed and upgraded, downgraded. I don't know what we'll call it. All right. Let me get going on my chair. Hello, kitty. All right, guys. Can you still hear me? Echo 9-1 echo. Catfish. Klondike bar. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. It's better with double mint gum. Oh yeah. Oh, that's gonna be nice. Let's turn the lights up here. Lights are all dim on this. I had something interesting happen in that my ramshorn snails ran out of food. I fed live food to these fish because I have a pond to feed the fish, right? I have a pond where I often use it to feed all the fish in this tank. Well, something unexpected happened, and the snails had no leftover food to eat. So they ate my freaking Logonandra plant like mad, like insanity. They chewed the hell out of it. And I'm so mad. They chewed up a good 2 or 3 leaves. Real bad. Real bad. I'm trying to see you guys' comments. Hold on. It's not exactly working. Hold on. Comments on open. Oh my god. Okay, guys. Sorry for yelling. My cat, as you can see here, hold on. She just went and jumped on my back. Like she was like Calabunga and just jumped on my back. Thanks, cat. And she clawed my back. But let me turn the lights up here so we can see all that we can see. Something happened that was sad to me, and that is that my crebenses, actually, I got a fungus, the male crebensis, that I was really happy and proud of. He was so pretty. I was so wanting to take care of them. I wasn't worried about quarantining them or anything because, you know, they had come from the wet spot. And usually with crebensis, the wet spot's pretty darn good. Sorry, guys, I'm coming back. I promise. I'm just getting things situated over here at the tanks so you guys can see stuff too. But yeah, it ended up being picture good, audio good. Okay, well, that's good. If I know that you guys probably don't like this direction, but now I can see the comments. I couldn't see the comments for a moment there at all. And guys, what I did, one of the things I did with the money from the GoFundMe is we got the air conditioner finally. So that can cool. It's big enough that I just put, you know, 200 towards it. And then the rest was from savings. But that cools the entire house now, thank goodness. So like today was 84 and the fish room would get to 90. And last summer, then the summer before, I had a window unit and like I'd have to move it all around and sometimes it wasn't quite enough. And on days where it's like 105, which it shouldn't be in Seattle ever, but it is nowadays. Like that never happened when I grew up, but now it does happen. Yeah. So anyways, now I can hopefully avoid all of that trauma. But I did lose my cribs. They spawned twice. The eggs all went away twice, and I lost them. The plants are looking pretty good, other than the fact that I had those snails decide to get hungry. You can see right here where some of them are still on it, little ones. But that freaking annoys me. Look at this. They just chewed up my Loganandra so bad. And I'm like, why? Does Loganandra just taste better than all the other plants in the aquarium? Why you gotta do that? Right, Sumi? Right? Anyways, so all these guppies, I'll have to do an update on the guppies. I'll upload that video like tomorrow. I'll just do a quick, hey guys, these are what the this generation of guppies is looking like. We're on generation 6 now. So I should be able to pull some footage of how they've evolved, which should be really fun. I mean, I don't know. Some people will be interested. Also, I've got my Kabamba furcata. I only was down to like 4 shoots of it, and when I was offering to give plants to people before I got too sick to drive, because when I was in that cast boot, I couldn't drive. Well, now I'm regrowing a whole bunch of Kabamba furcata, all the pink and rainbow kind of colored Kabamba here. So I'm gonna take these shoots and I'm gonna double them one more time, and then I'll be able to sell, you know, half of those or whatever, and that'll be good. Also, this is not Barclaya longifolia as I had called it like several streams ago. This we found out is actually Crypt Ballonye or Ballonet Ballonsai, whatever. I'm bad at pronouncing that one. And also we've got the Bacopa. This is already the hybrid Bacopa that I've grown years past. It is flowering. So is the other kind of Bacopa that I keep on the other half of the tank. So I can now cross-pollinate those. So that's exciting news. I did, as I said, though, lose the crib to fungi. I lost that beautiful Maliwe Lacunja crib to a giant, like one morning, I just looked in at the mail and he had fuzz all over his eye and nostril. And so I got him with the API fungus treatment and then also a gram positive erythromycin. And then also I hit him with the external parasite in a tank with other fish. All the other fish did great. He died like not even through the day. And then 2 days later, the female, without having any sign of the fungus or anything, she also died. And that made me so sad. I know she died because she was, you know, paired off and they'd been breeding, and I think the stress was just too much for her. But that was a bummer to lose that fish. I was really excited. It's a bummer to lose any fish, but those ones were ones that I really, really loved. And yeah, so anyways, this tank, you guys have seen this one go through changes. I'm going through changes. Like Ozzy, right, guys? And over here, we've got the changes going on. We got both tanks. These are the ones that I've been able to access easily. We got all those reed tetras in here. We got like 40 reed tetras in here in a 60-gallon. It's full of plants. They love it. The reed tetras have had babies. The endlers and guppy mix, whatever they are, they've had a ton of babies. So we got a bunch of them out and about, oot and a boot, scooting a boot. And then the Von Rio tetras, they're out and about. Also, the glass catfish are still in here. There's 8 of them in here. I don't know what they're doing, but they're in there. They just stay low in the plants. I don't know how many you need in a big tank. Here's one of the glass cats right now. I don't know how many you need in a big tank, but you must need like more than 10 for them to feel comfortable. Because there's like one who's not shy at all right here. Oops, come on. One that's not shy, that's hanging out right at the top here. One of these Borneo glass cats. And there's a few others that are kind of mid-water, but probably 4 to 5 of them always stay down in the plants, and that's a bummer. Anyways, so yeah, plants are doing good. The Rasbora hets are doing good. These guys, the panda loaches, they're still doing their thing. The new species, the golden panda loach, everybody's over a year old now, which is cool. The Kaifit Danios over a year old, and the Tinwini Danios over a year old. Even the Amano shrimp over a year old. The yo-yo loach is 3 or 4 that's in here. He came from another tank. And what's interesting is I got a reticulated Siamese algae eater in here. You can probably see him right now eating algae. And he has not grown at all. He has not grown like any amount. And he's been in here for like 3 months. So I'm happy about that. I mean, if he never grows, that's fine. Also, I took the rainbow fish out of here. I gave most of them to my friend that has a Kalitawa set up. Oh, here comes the yo-yo loach and the blueberry snail. But yeah, and then this is it's called Samulus parvulus right now, but it's gonna probably change its name to like Limsetia parvulosa. Yeah, so that's a taxonomical change though. And then look at this this aflame, this Echinodorus aflame has really grown quite a bit, going wild. Again, I mentioned there's the panda loaches. The little panda loach that's the golden kind is now an adult, and it has not changed. It still has stripes going the full length of its body, which is very interesting. That's unexpected. I thought it would lose those. I thought it would get the chain link pattern like the other ones kind of tend to. So now that means there are 3 phenotypes and probably 2 species with 2 subspecies, or maybe 1 subspecies, 1 species, depending on how you look at that. But yeah, I mean, look at this aflame. Nice, big, chunky leaves, no algae on this. It's very nice. I'm happy with that. Also, the metallic corkscrew valve here, blood red and just beautiful. Even though this is towards the end and it gets a little rattier at the end of that, it sure looks cool having a valve that red. You can see the tips of it really get red. And so I'm really happy with some of those plants that were kind of clinging on, and I was like, man, am I going to be able to revive these? And I've really focused on these 2 tanks with plants, and all my red cherry shrimp are also in here, my blood marys. So there's that. So this light is a twin star light on this tank, and this tank as well. This is an S series. Series 3S is what it's called. This one was about $270 or $250 back when I got it about 5 years ago. This one over here, which is actually the same size light, but a much smaller tank, a 20-gallon tank. It's actually like a 22-gallon tank. It's a really weird size. But this light here is the EA or AE level. And then there's also a C level in the other room. So I can show you that too. We'll go look at that right now. And we'll also go get the live food that I had for my. We're backing up here on the Scooter Express. Beep, 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 beep. Hold on, guys. Let me set this down. Let me grab the live food real quick over off the counter. All right. And we're going to wrap this up soon. You will see the fish room over here, but lights aren't on right now because it's been such a hot day. And but I'll give you guys an overview of what's going on here. So, oh, cool, Jose. I am stoked about that. If you had a basket on that scooter, I do have a basket on that scooter, and Sumi is right here, and I have put her in the basket, and she loses her absolute mind when I put her in that or pouch. She does not like the pouch, do you, baby girl? Come here. So there's that. So I know all the lights are off in here, but I do need to, like, regardless of you guys or anybody, anything else going on, I do need to feed my elastomas. Need to feed the other elastomas, my wild elastomas. So we got Elastoma evergladi, Elastoma gilberti. They're doing fine. They're doing good. And then these are the babies, which at last count, we had 34 growing out in here. Algae's pretty out of control because I've just had this light on too much lately, to be honest. But I'm also not trying to control the algae because these fish are eating a lot of the little microflora and fauna that lives in that algae. So you'll see the Daphnia in here. But let me try to scare some of the actual fry forward. Here we go. If you can see them. There's some little ones still. These are the smallest size right up in the front here. I don't know if you guys can get a good view of these, but they're kind of spazzy. They kind of twitch the way they move. And we'll get these guys coming forward right here out in the front. So they're doing their thing, trying to kind of, like, as I go, I'll suck up like some of this algae and just kind of slowly put it over in this bottle where I kind of have a overflow bin. But then we've got the bigger fish, and there's probably 6 of these fish that have just grown to, let me measure how big they are. It is ridiculous. Like, let me just clean off these surfaces too, so you guys can hopefully see the fish a little better. But yeah, some of the larger fish in this tank now, I would say, come here, fish. Come out to the front. Maybe I'll have to make a standalone update on this tank too. But some of the fish now are at least a 1/4 inch long, if not more, if not like 1/2 inch long. And yet, there's still some that are itty bitty, teeny weeny, yellow polka dot bikini. No, that are really tiny fish, barely even visible. I mean, you lose track of them. It's frustrating when you're trying to count them. Like, you have to definitely do it one by one. But where the heck? Why can't I get them on to come out on and be more social? I'm trying to get them. Okay, here's a couple mid-sized fish. but none of the big ones. Well, I'll post pictures or something too soon, because there are, like I said, there's about 6 in here. They're being shy. I can see one's right down here by my turkey baster, right here, zipping around. This is kind of like mid to upper size, and then there's a few that are just like, I don't know, mama fed them something. Like they've been eating just overtime, and they're just big. They're just chunky fish. Also, we've got the Metallicus rice fish, the miniature ones under here. We've got my angelfish and my other oddballs and stuff. And then let's turn on the light. Aziz light. So we've got the wild Liberty Mollies here. Yeah, they're sketched out by the baster for sure. They are. In fact, see if this guy will come back. But there's one right under this plant. I'm trying to sketch them out with that turkey baster and get them to come forward, like running away from the turkey baster. Let's see here. Whatever. I give up. It's too hard to get a good shot on the live stream level zoom, but oh, there we go. Here we go. Here comes one. Right in the corner over here. You guys can see him maybe. Right in the corner. Right here. There he is. Here he comes. Right here in front of the turkey baster. There he is. Big old chunky Elasoma. Already got stripes. We already know it's going to be a male. He's already turns dark. It's wild. So anyways, here we got the Kohaku fish plus the baby swordtails. The baby, or mollies rather, wild Liberty mollies. They're doing good. The Kohaku swordtails are looking good. None of the Kohaku babies really seem to be living very well. I have one Kohaku baby growing out, and that's all I've been able to rescue. They eat their babies real savagely, so that's been a bummer. And then in here, you guys know this is a motley crew of mete. These mete tetra and the negrofasciatus danios I've had in here are seriously 6, 7 years old. Some of them very old for tetras and danios. Very wild that that tank is still going. Up here, need to do some algae control. Obviously, like I said, haven't been able to get into these tanks a whole lot. You know, it's hard for me to stand. It's very painful for me to stand. And like right now, I'm throwing that algae, that big old quad of Claudophora, in the bucket over here. But we've got the black line cichlids in here. We've got still got the bettas in here. There's still 4 or 5 bettas in here. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's also a bunch of rosy loaches that had babies. And then the other kind of unexpected one is more of the multilinear, or the zebra. The kind of zebra, what do they call that? Zebra loach, I guess. There we go. These hovering zebra loaches. And the also the rosy loach from Lake Inlay. The rosy loach males are an electric orange, looking good. And then there's a few snakeskin barbs in here still. That's a female. That's the male for the cichlids. Be feeding them again more live food. There's a rosy barb over there. Anyways, so this tank doing its thing. Doesn't look the greatest. Neither does my tank over here, which is the tank of the very, very low water, because this tank is all of my aquacultured isopods living with fish and so forth. So you can see this is low, no filter, and it's just the Heteranda formosa in here. That's it. That's the only fish, and some native shrimp. Also, the algae tank that y'all know has been covered in algae forever, with the rainbow fish and the pseudomagills and the apistos. Everybody's still colored up, healthy, happy. Also, the fish I feel guilty for having now these gobies, these Chinese gobies that are apparently on the freaking endangered species list. Makes me so sad to hear. I mean, look at that beautiful fish up there. That vermilion goby. Turns out it's on the endangered species list. That is just killer on my heart. Also, I think these Maha chiensis betta are about to spawn again, which is cool because there's a trio in there. And then over here, we've got white cloud tenictes, the newest species of those, the alba, whatever. And then we've also got the betta malak compuncta, female and male. They're the big beefy bettas that are like literally, I don't know, 4.5 inches long, something like that. This one, huge, big old bettas. And then down here, of course, we've got the Goodeids doing their thing, having lots of babies. I keep having to give away babies. Some bumblebee gobies still doing their thing. Also, we've got black chin live bearers and also phoenix or chili rasboras and stuff in here. And then down here, we've got the native Florida fish. And let me turn that on. This has algae too, I'm sure. Yep, algae. So this has algae, but again, there's only a few of the native fish left that were even like this is an indoor pond now, as you can see. There are a few fish left in here of the killifish, and that's it. I don't know what happened, if it was just all in transport that they died, but literally all the bluefin killies, all that stuff never made it past 2 weeks. So that stuff's been hanging out in here ever since. But I'm a little bit torn. I'm not going to try again with that same bunch or that same tank in case it was something in that tank that doesn't like native fish. But hopefully we'll be good to go in the future and that won't happen again, because I'm going to try some non-native fish in there next and move those native fish into this tank with the stuff. So that's how much I've downsized right now. Literally no tanks up there. The tanks that were up, or the tanks that are up here, that's all just live food now. Hold on, my wife is home, I think. My wife is home, guys. I gotta go. I gotta let you guys go, but it's been real. I've had a lot of fun this live stream, and all sweaty from being in the fish room. But thank you so much for your support, and I will see you guys next time. I gotta let my wife in. Oh, walking hurts. Hi, honey. I'm live streaming. I didn't realize I locked the door. But welcome home. You look like you got a tan. You look beautiful. I'm showing you to the people. Look what I got, everybody. I got an incredible wife that's super hot. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she sweet? Isn't she amazing? She lets me keep my boot on the counter. Anyways, let me get back to my scooter and my cat. And now I got to spend some time with the family. But I love you guys. I'll see you soon. And hopefully we'll upload that new generation, 6 generations of my guppy and Endler crossing. Because I started with that blonde line. And but thank you. Thanks for spending some time with me. That room is still pretty hot. I'm still pouring sweat compared to in the rest of the house. So we'll have to address that, or maybe over time. The AC just got set up today. So yeah. All right, you guys. We'll take it one question at a time. I'll see you guys next time. Sumi, we'll see you next time. Oh, I guess she's already done with you guys. But thank you so much for all the support, all the fun, all the questions. And I will be back by Tuesday for sure, if not sooner, to do another stream. Much love and thank you again, you guys. I'll see you later. Oh, my family's here. My family. You gonna lick the sweat off my face? No. Bye, guys. I'll see you later.